Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to another exciting episode of Campus Chronicles. I'm Ramesa Sohail and today we are honored to have a woman whose work and life has shaped education, leadership and development in Pakistan. She is a renowned educationist, self-expert and she is the president of SZABIST. She has also been honored with Sitara-e-Imtiaz and has also served as a member of National Assembly. She is none other than Madam Shahnaz Wazir Ali. Assalamu alaikum, ma'am. How are you?
Walaikum assalam. Very well, and particularly happy to be here.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
At your very remarkable initiative called Campus Chronicles.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, we are welcoming you to Campus Chronicles. So I would love to start from the beginning. When you look back at your childhood and at your early life, what was that one challenge or that one turning point that changed how it changed you as a person and as a leader?
You know, I think that's a very significant question because I've often thought about it. And yes, in my childhood and right up through my teenage years, I was very deeply influenced by the values of my parents. And I realized that later, much later, when I look back at my life. And when people ask me the question, you know, what are significant aspects of your early life? My father came from a very, very humble family, from a small village outside Sialkot. And my mother came from a small village outside Gujarat, in Pakistan's Gujarat, near the river Chenab.
Oh, nice.
My mother's father was a very enlightened man. He was not educated. She was the youngest of 9 children, but he educated all his daughters. And my father's father, my grandfather, who came from Sialkot, was totally uneducated. And he also believed profoundly in educating his sons and his daughters. So from my childhood, I realized that how important education was in our family. And that's what I learned through the years from my parents, directly and indirectly, just imbibing the fact that the highest value of life is to do something for people beyond yourself. And my mother started a school when I was just ready to go to school. And it was right after partition in 1947, when Pakistan was created. She began to think that what service can I give to my country? And she thought the most important thing was to educate children. So that's where I think the foundations for my commitment to education were laid.
You said, and it's absolutely right. Education is the basic right. So you have worked in classrooms, and government and international organizations. So what was it about education that made it for you more as a job and that you have achieved it as a lifelong mission?
You're so right, actually, Ramsa. It's really not a job for me. It never has been a job. It's always been a commitment, a belief, a very firm belief, I would call a foundational value of my life. And once again, I say I owe it to my parents because both of them were highly educated and very intellectual about the philosophy of life. And they had always said that you should do something that is useful. So when I've held many positions in life, but the experience that really changed me, there were a few. The very first one was when I went to work as a teacher in a school in Liari in Karachi, in one of the poorest sections of Karachi. And the school was a building, an old, almost half broken down building. There were hardly any chairs or tables. You could not even see the blackboard carefully, clearly, because this bit of black paint had been put on the wall. There were no light bulbs. The fan didn't work, and the children were sitting outside the school. It was a little room. And I decided, my father told me, if you want to do anything in education, first go and work in the poorest schools of Karachi. That changed my life.
Exactly. And as you have mentioned that you are an educationist, so what do you think quality of education in this fast changing world? What is the quality of education in your perspective?
You know, the quality of education is professionally and educational terminology defined by so many things, by pedagogical practices, by all the right sorts of support material and equipment and computers and learning systems in the classroom, beautiful buildings and top-notch faculty. Yes,
Exactly.
for me, the faculty is really critical. But I think what is very important is not only what happens inside the classroom, but what happens outside the classroom as well. So I think the quality of education is all about the learning experience.
Exactly.
It's not just that you have a text to read or an exam to give and that you score well. It is really how well you learn to understand and deeply understand the subject matter and the world around you. Because the subject matter, whether it is science or mathematics or history or English language or any of the other disciplines, it doesn't exist in a vacuum. Everything is connected. So to me, a student who's understood the interconnectedness of things, that person is really achieving a certain quality of learning experience. And it is the institution's responsibility to provide them that quality environment.
Exactly. And everything is connected. It's really true because one by one we are taking steps in life. And as you mentioned, for students listening to us right now, and you as a president of ZABIST, what makes ZABIST a place for students where they just don't earn degrees, they but also grow as individual and responsible citizens? But in general, what exposure did universities give to students other than degrees?
I think it's such an important perspective on higher education that you're touching upon. Certainly, a university is not a place just for degrees.
Exactly.
A university is a place where you develop yourself, you actualize your potential, you begin to see how many interests you might have, and you get the opportunity in a university campus, and that's what I think ZABIST gives to a lot of students, and that is our attempt every single day, that our campus life, not just the classroom, but the campus life should provide students an opportunity for debate, for reading, for literature, for poetry, for drama, for music, for sports, for mind games, for everything and anything that we can possibly do within our resources to provide a safe environment where students can take a deep interest in their and develop a hobby. Sometimes they're not quite sure what they want to do.
Exactly.
They're hesitant. They come into leadership positions. We have student government, proper elections like Pakistan has elections, and very free and fair elections. And we have an election commission, and there's an election, there's rules that you have to abide by. And then all the students come and vote. So this is a practice on campus, a democratic institutional practice where students are represented through the people that they elect. So for me, I think it's the student life, the activities, the classroom, of course the learning. That's very much the center of it. What you're learning, how to enhance your mind, your understanding, your worldview, and how to reach out and where to get additional knowledge from, which today is at your fingertips, isn't it?
It is.
It's in your laptop, it's in your phone, and you can get a lot of information.
Yes, it's true. And you have been a strong voice for women empowerment, and you are a woman, empowered woman from decades. So I want to ask what message you give to young women who fear to dream big, to raise their voice and give their point of view to the world.
Women's place in society, and not just in society, but in the entire fabric of a society. Let's take Pakistan, of course. The political systems, the social structures, the rituals, the traditions, the customs, the economic systems, all of these have an impact on the status of women, apart from, of course, from the laws and the legislation. So when I look at young women, I know that they have strength, they have agency, and they have very much, many of them have asserted themselves. Look at you yourself, look at a lot of young women. When I come to the IBA campus at Sukkur, I am so impressed
Thank you.
by the women faculty, by the fact that there are women in every department and in leadership positions, as there are in SZABIST as well. In SZABIST, the chairperson of our board is a woman. The chairperson of the chancellor is a woman. I, as president, am here. Out of my 3 vice presidents, there's one of them is a woman, extremely competent. And similarly, I think at all the top good universities of Pakistan, and even in others, you see a lot of women. So women are stepping up, and the message I give to women is that, you do have it. You have the strength, you have the capability, because your role as a woman has always been a very challenging role in society. And you've learned to overcome those challenges and barriers.
Exactly.
And more women are walking into the world of work, and they are competing.
Exactly. So you, from your experience, what you see is the biggest challenge in Pakistan education system, and what message you can give?
This is, I think, one of the most profound and fundamental questions about Pakistan and its education system. My firm belief, having been in the school as a teacher, as I told you, in the Liari school experience, then the education trust schools that my mother has set up 76 years ago now. I've been in senior positions in government. I've been the special assistant to the Prime Ministers of Pakistan, to Muhtarama Benazir Bhutto Shaheed, and to Yusuf Raza Gilani Sahab. I've been in M&A twice. I've been the education sector senior specialist in the World Bank. I've held various positions. This question comes up again and again. What is the big issue in Pakistan? Why can we not fix our education system? I think part of the answer lies outside the education system. It lies in our power structures. It lies in our political system. The answer lies in our economic and our social systems. And let me expand on that and elaborate a little bit. Power in Pakistan lies in the hands of the politically powerful elite, the bureaucratic elite, the industrial elite, and of course the powerful elite of not only the civil bureaucracy, but also the military elite. So when power lies in the hands of the elite classes of Pakistan, the poor classes don't have a voice. And unfortunately, in many parts of Pakistan, the economic structures of Pakistan still are very traditional, in the sense that large agriculturalists, landowners, feudals, large farm holdings, their mindsets are not very progressive. Here and there you can find a progressive farmer. By a farmer, I mean an agriculturist or a landowner. But by and large, the feudals do not have progressive mindsets. So they're not in favor of good education for everybody who works in their fields and their children. Similarly, tradition, ritual, custom say there's no need really to educate girls. There's no need to educate them. They're all right in whatever work they're doing. So the class system is very rigid in Pakistan. And the poor people, those who really need to get a good education, are totally deprived. And really, unless we restructure the way decisions are made, and unless we restructure the way the political system works, I don't think we can really address the education system problem. And it's not a problem of money. Many people say we don't have enough budgets. Yes, our budgets should increase. There's absolutely no doubt. We don't spend enough. We spend 1.8%. We should spend 4.5%, 5%, 6%, 7%, 8%. But at the same time, it is what we spend it on, and the management of education, which is a problem.
Exactly. And ma'am, anything you want to say to our viewers as an ending note? It may be any advice or any message.
Well, first of all, let me say I'm absolutely delighted to be part of Campus
Thank you so much,
Chronicles.
ma'am.
And I do want to thank the Vice Chancellor of Sukkur IBA University for his foresight and for the multiple initiatives that he's been taking. I want to thank you and
Thank
your
you,
whole
ma'am.
team.
Thank you so much.
It's a wonderful opportunity to speak to students. I think that, the students are the hope. I honestly believe in the youth of Pakistan. I think they have the intelligence, the capability, the competence, and they have the courage to make sure that Pakistan becomes a better place for the future.
Exactly.
So my only advice is do the best you possibly can. Keep your feet on the ground, but look up at the stars.
It's really amazing.
Because the world is in your hand.
It's in your hand, exactly. Thank you so much, ma'am. It's been an honor for me and for all of us listening to you today. And to our listeners, I want to say this conversation, I hope, inspires you. Keep watching Campus Chronicles. This is Rumesa Sohail signing off.